A very good morning everyone. I am CS Kajan Handewag from Nyandeep Academy, and today we are here to discuss the Hindu analysis dated 19th December 2024. Okay, so what are we going to discuss today? We are going to be talking about the India-China talks, then we will be talking about the Dolphin project, then we will be talking about the Delimitation Commission. Next, we'll be talking about how the police stations are linked via CCTNS. And next, we will be talking about how states are important in case of policy making. Okay. So now the first news for the day. Positive signals emerged from India-China talks. So we have even seen it in the last month. In fact, we've been seeing it since October that India and China, they have been trying to be in talks, and we are trying to sort out our border issues which have been going on since a long time. We've also faced issues of Depsang and Demchok valleys. Again, we are trying to sort them out. 100% those two topics remain untouched because we have a lot of clashes still going on between India and China on those particular areas, but otherwise we are at a better position because at least right now we are having a bilateral dialogue with China. Okay, so now what is this latest news all about? So India and China, we have positively spoken about things we need to take care of at the line of control, line of actual control, to be honest. Line of actual control matlab it is a line that divides India and China. So NSA Ajit Doval, our NSA, he met with the Chinese foreign minister, that is Wang Yi. This was in Beijing. It was the first boundary talk between the SRs since 2019. So the special representative of India and the special representative of China. So these SRs it was the first such talk after 2019. So it's been a long gap. Also during the talks, Doval and Wang said that it was important that we need to learn lessons. We have been going on with this long 4-year military standoff, and we need to maintain peace. We need to maintain tranquility in that particular area on the border. For maintaining peace, we need to learn from these 4-year military exercises that we've been doing, that now it's high time we need to stop these border issues. Also, they said that substantive discussions, substantive meaning important discussions have taken place, which would 100% be good enough for maintaining peace and for coming to one conclusion. There is a 6-point consensus that they spoke about. So the Chinese people said that we have agreed on a 6-point theory, like there are 6 points to which we both have agreed. Now India did not specifically talk about these 6 points, but yes, they did talk about that our bilateral talks are very much successful and we've had substantive important talks. Okay. Now, significantly, after the talks, the SRs, they did not refer to the resumption of direct flights and restoration of journalist exchanges. Now, this is something important which you all must know, that even after this meeting, even after the talks of SRs, we don't have a direct flight, from India to China. So, we haven't resumed those either. We are still not allowing the India-China flight, direct flight, and also their journalist exchanges, we are not even allowing that still. So these points have not been spoken about. This was the first meeting since frictions had emerged in western sector of India-China border areas in 2020. We've already spoken about these 2020 issues in one of our previous Hindu sessions. There were uproars and there were issues along the border area again in 2020 which our military had to face. So after this was like a first such a huge and a productive meeting. The special representatives, this entire thing, it actually started in 2003. We've started having bilateral talks with China so that we once and for all solve this boundary dispute, but we had this for 5 years of gap after 2019. This marks a major step towards resumption of diplomatic mechanisms. As I said, we've been doing this since 2003, but there have been a lot of gaps, there have been a lot of disputes. So right now, again, going and talking to them, having a dialogue with them, this shows that our relationship with China is definitely improving at the international level. Mr. Doval said that if your special representative talks are again beginning, and that too after a 5-year gap, this was something which is huge. And India has always been committed that we will have good communication with China. And also we want a new relationship with them. We want a good, peaceful relationship with China. This is what our NSA had to say. Okay, next. Now, talking about the general facts about India and China, which you all must know from IR point of view, very important. India and China, they have mutually agreed, both of them have agreed that we will disengage. We will not engage in 5 friction points. Which 5 points are these? Galvan Valley, then the Pangong Tso, Gogra Hot Springs. Okay, these are the main ones. And they have been saying that we will develop these particular areas and we will not have a military standoff in these areas. This is what both India and China have agreed. Now, unfortunately, what has been happening along the LAC, both India and China, we've been building a lot of military infrastructure. This is like a 3,488 kilometer long boundary. And because of this, both the nations are very much in a hostile environment again and again. 50 to 60,000 troops are stationed at LAC. So can we imagine how much the terror is? Now, if we talk about certain issues, if we talk about the Pangong Lane. Now, what is Pangong Lane? This region, it is like a cross paths between patrols of India and China. So, like the Pangong Lane area, the Chinese army passes and side mein se the Indian army passes. So, it is like both of us, we cross each other in this area. So, this north bank of the lake, so the north side of the lake, this is the Pangong Lake. This is the north side. So the north side is divided into 8 fingers. Now what this fingers in military language, when we talk about fingers, are the mountain areas that finally join the rivers. Okay, so when the mountain it comes down, it gets mixed up with the river. So that is one finger. So essay, there are, if we talk north, there are 8 fingers. India says that is our territory till finger 8, and China says it's its own territory, China's territory till finger 4. This is what it has to say. So again, this is an area of contention. Next, Demchok region, it has always been an issue. We have spoken about the Demsang and Demchok region in one of the Hindu sessions, as I said. Here the Chinese are heavily military equipped and they keep moving in that particular area, which of course we claim belongs to us. Okay. Next bone of contention is Galvan River Basin. Now, if we talk about the satellite images which are taken from above, so we have figured out Chinese tents that was near the road which is close to Galvan River Basin. Okay, this indicates Chinese incursions into areas where there is Indian dominance. It's held by the Indian forces, but still the Chinese has been dominating it and it has set up its own tents. Next, we will talk about the Gogra Post. Now again, Gogra Post, Chinese military is building there up, and because of this tensions are increasing. Then is the Daulat Beg Oldie. Now what is Daulat Beg Oldie? Again, Chinese has entered this area which lies on the Indian side, which since traditionally belongs to us. So the Chinese has jitna unko allowed hai, they have exceeded that limit and they have entered into it more. So historically, if we talk about the red lines, if we talk about the LAC, it is well defined, but again and again there are intrusions and we see people entering in our area, and that is mainly done maybe to pressurize us or to some strategic military movement, but that is definitely putting India into a lot of stress, into a lot of pressure when something like this again and again happens. Because at the moment when the entire world, at some or the other corner, everybody is at war with each other. So right now, India cannot afford having a war with a superpower like China. And even it's not economically feasible for China either. Okay. Now, if we talk about the next news, we are going to be talking about the Dolphin project. So, a team of conservationists, they tagged the almost blind Ganges River dolphin for the first time. So there is this Ganges River, which we call it in English, we pronounce this as Ganges River, and we have spotted a dolphin, and they are considered as almost blind. Okay, so they can't really see clearly, and we have spotted them. This is done for the first time. Now, a healthy male river dolphin and a tributary of Brahmaputra. Brahmaputra river ka one of the tributary, that is Kulsi. So it was taken from there. It was tagged. Now, what is tag? The government puts a tag at the neck or at one of the part of the animal, so that it can be monitored. Okay, so this is generally done for, if you come across, if you see the various villages and everywhere, so the cows, the buffaloes, they do have a cow tag, they do have a tagging. Okay, so it is like a chip kind of a thing that has been put on, and it is very good because it will help us if the animals are misplaced. It will help us to know if they are alive, to know what is the status of that particular animal. Okay. So yes, if we talk about the Project Dolphin, it is expected to now what are we doing under Project Dolphin? We again want to put a sensor tag, like we want to do the tagging system on dolphins also. Now, is it okay? Is it healthy for them? Like, will it not stop them from swimming? So no, we are trying to do this so that we protect them, and at the same time we get to know what is their distribution, what is their range, where do they generally migrate. Okay. Also, because there are various distributed river systems in India, so what is their pattern, like from where exactly do they go? And as our question says, ki, will it not hamper their swimming ability? So no, because their surfacing time, we are trying that whatever tagging we are doing, it will not interfere with their dolphin movement, and at the same time we will also get real-time updates about that particular dolphin. So the first ever dolphin, it is historic. This is done right now, yesterday. It is historic, and this project, the funding comes from CAMPA. I'll tell you what CAMPA is. And right now we are trying to do nothing but preserve our animal, preserve our ecosystem by tagging the dolphins. Okay. So if we talk about the global dolphin population, as India has 90% of dolphin population, but yet it is so rare, right? The dolphin population has been reducing a lot, that too. So if we talk about the population, it is distributed across Ganga, Brahmaputra, Meghna and the Karhapuri river system. However, if we talk about the population, it has drastically declined. The knowledge gaps remain regarding this species, and that is the reason we've done tagging, because we don't know exactly that what is happening to the dolphin population. Why is it coming down? We have no idea about its range, about where do they go, like what are the patterns, which season do they go from, where do they come. We have a brief idea, but not an exact one. So yes, there are a lot of knowledge gaps, and that is why here the tagging solution comes in. And because generally a dolphin, it comes out only for 5 to 30 seconds at a time. So it is difficult for humans to even have such a study, because their behavior is so elusive that they are underwater all the time. So the Ganges River dolphin, why is it so unique? Because they are nearly blind. Okay, now what is Project Dolphin? Project Dolphin is mainly done to improve the health of our marine environment. And of course, it focuses mainly on dolphins. We want to strengthen the surveillance, the monitoring that we are giving our dolphins. We want to have information about them. We want to improve our ecosystems for them. There are certain ghost nets. Now, how do I explain ghost nets? See, when the fisherman, they go to catch a particular fish, so there are ghost nets. Okay, there are nets that he takes, and the nets he throws it, and that's how the fishes are caught in that particular net, and they get the net out. Correct? So there are certain ghost nets that people put in the water bodies, and after a while they maybe even forget about it, or they are intentionally there. So what happens if one of the dolphins or any of the fishes, any of the aquatic animal, if he gets stuck in that particular ghost net, it is going to be very difficult for him to swim and come out, because even if he's swimming, he's going to be stuck in that net. So that is something which is very difficult for them, and it is a question of their survival. So even through tagging or through river dolphin project, our main aim, one of the aim is that we need to remove the ghost nets that are present there. We need to involve the locals, that, you know, if you see any animal, he is being caused harm, so in such a case you will be given incentive, take care of that particular animal. So 60% of this amount will be given by the center, and state will bear the 40% of this amount. So what will happen because of this? Our population of dolphin will be better. We will protect their habitat. The local communities protection will be done. And now what is CAMPA? CAMPA is Compensatory Afforestation Fund Management and Planning Authority. That is what CAMPA is. It plays a very important role, and the main aim of CAMPA is forests, that they don't want the forest loss, they want to improve the forest cover, and for that, not only forest cover, but also they want to conserve all other natural habitats, and for that they are responsible for giving the funding. So any person, any agency who is trying to convert forest land into a non-forest purpose, so they can't just do it easily, like you're cutting off all the trees and then you are building a commercial project there. Okay, people do that, but you can't do that easily. For that, you have to pay certain compensation, and that compensation will go to CAMPA. So CAMPA will collect all the funds and keep it with themselves, even in such a case. Okay. Then we will be talking about the delimitation. First, I'll tell you all the news. So the Kerala High Court, there was a delimitation order. What delimitation order? Local bodies ka election is going on, okay, will be going on, and for that there is a delimitation order that has been issued by the state government. So the state government issues the delimitation limits for the local body elections. So this is done in 8 municipalities and 1 gram panchayat. Okay, the elections are going to be held there, 8 municipalities, and we have 1 gram panchayat. So there was a delimitation order that came up before the elections. We do need delimitations. We've spoken about the delimitation in details in our Maharashtra Vidhan Sabha video. Please just watch that and you'll get to know everything about delimitation. Okay. So the Kerala High Court, it cancelled the order. They said this is not appropriate. They said the ward delimitation in these particular areas, I have written the areas here, these are the municipalities, and the Padana Gram Panchayat, this was carried out as per the old orders, okay, and this was not done as per the norms that how it should be done. So it was it had been done based on the 2011 census. Now 2011 and this is 2024. It's been a huge gap. You cannot rely on 2011 census. Okay. A fresh ward delimitation should have been done only after conducting new census. Now what is a census? Where the exact population and everything is measured. And you can't do it based on an earlier one. The court also said that the delimitation process which was used was outdated, and when you're using old data, so obviously why are you even doing this? Why are we even doing delimitation then? Because if old data, the population then and now, it has a huge difference. It makes no sense when you when you come across such a delimitation order based on the 2011 population. How will we even hold elections? That is not, the law is not going to make sense. So they said the delimitation commission, they have given them a warning, and the government and the commission said that we do have certain powers when it comes to delimitation, but the court said that yes, 100% you all do, but you all do not have the entire authority, or you all do not, it's not something that we cannot question. Your delimitation orders can be questioned. Now, if we talk about the Delimitation Commission, this is a very powerful body and it is responsible for setting up the constituency boundaries. As I said, I've explained this entire Delimitation Commission. Who all does it include? A chairman, the Chief Election Commissioner, and other 2 election of commissioners. It also includes a State Election Commissioner. Because obviously this has been done for a local body. Now the delimitation process is very bureaucratic. Bureaucratic as in only the top level people are doing it, and it is done in a very controlled situation. So even after 10 years, after a census, Parliament enacts a Delimitation Act. Okay, so after that, how is the process done? This is the process. Every 10 years there is a Delimitation Act. Every 10 years there is a census that is done, and then an act is passed, Delimitation Act, which divides the constituent boundaries and elections are taken accordingly. So the union government, uske baad they appoint the Delimitation Commission, whose head is the Supreme Court judge. That is the step number 2. Now the commission will analyze ki kitna kaha population hai, which are the current constituencies, what are the number of seats that constituency has, what are the changes that need to be got into it, and it meets with the stakeholders, it makes recommendations. After receiving certain recommendations, certain feedback, the Delimitation Commission, it will have a final report which will be published in the official gazette as well as the state gazettes. And its final report, it will take place only when it is communicated to the president, and it will help in the next delimitation process. So every 10 years this has to be done. So after 10 years, the delimitation report that you will refer to just for reference will be today's delimitation report and not the previous one. This is what the Kerala government has done, and that is why the court is not happy with it. Next is police stations in the country linked through centralized online platform, that is CCTNS. So it's been 15 years and finally, okay, this has been going on since a long time. This is important, guys, from exam point of view. So yes, it's been 15 years and finally when this app was launched 15 years ago. So we have 17,130 police stations in the country and they all are linked on this app. Now what is this app? Crime and Criminal Tracking Network Systems. Okay, we've been doing this since 15 years. We had 40 police stations that were left, which were in Manipur, Nagaland, Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Lakshadweep and Odisha. Now even they are linked. So now we can say that 100% police stations are linked on this particular app across 28 states and 8 union territories. So, a senior government official, they also said that the police stations are registering 100% FIRs through CCTNS now, which is great because we are having an electronic record of this. The National Crime Record Bureau, okay, you call this as NCRB. So, NCRB has made 23 changes in this and mainly because of 3 criminal laws. We have new laws now, right? That is the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, which has replaced IPC. Then we have the Bharatiya Sakshya Adhiyanam, which has replaced the Evidence Act. And then we have Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sahiti, which has replaced the CRPC. So these are the new acts that have come across. So obviously the app, that is CCTNS, was also changed according to these new laws. Okay, so these are the new 3 laws when it comes to criminal cases. Now, CCTNS, it is a centralized online platform. Now, what exactly is this? It is an online platform. We can file FIRs here. The investigation reports will be uploaded here. The charge sheets of the police will be uploaded here. Now, this online data can be accessed by all the law enforcement authorities throughout India. This was launched with a budget of 2000 CR and right now it has become one of the most important weapon for the new 3 criminal laws that are in existence. Now the system, it has past records, it also has the current crime records. It includes details of who has been accused, what is the charge sheet details, who was convicted, who is a person who is again and again doing the same offense, who is a proclaimed offender, that he's declared that he's been doing an offense. It includes details of such people. Police can also search in this database for the missing people, the bodies who are unidentified, not accepted by anyone, vehicles that are stolen, which were involved in crime incidents. So the police can refer to this particular database, which will help them a lot in solving the cases on ground level. So it can also generate reports regarding various criminal cases, property cases, and it will give the police stations, it will give the police personnel crime statistics, which will definitely help them in solving cases easier. And not only this, it will also maintain a forever record because this is online, and communication with each other will be easier because all the information is available on a database which everybody throughout the country can access. So the changes that include seeking permission of senior officers before making arrests in certain cases. These are the few of the changes that have come up in this specific app, or the rules you can say. That in case of certain arrests, you need permission of seniors. Also, when it comes to if you've arrested someone, the friends or relatives should be informed about it. There's the arrest information should be there. Then the way of giving notices, then the daily reporting, there are provisions of that. And if you're reporting it to the magistrate, it should be done every 15 days. Then the punishments, that if anybody does a crime which is punishable with 7 years or more, in such a case, forensic investigation is compulsory. Then whatever the crime scene is, a compulsory video has to be taken, evidence collection has to be done, samples need to be collected, and if police has to inform about the investigations of each and every case to the victim within 90 days and the new timelines as per the new laws. So because of all these new rules and new laws, the police system will become at a more professional, and we are trying to match the international standards. So if there is accountability, of example for this 90 days accountability, that within 90 days the other persons have to be informed about what the case has come up to, how many people have been arrested. The victims have to be informed about this particular scenario. Okay, so in such a case, the accountability increases and the professionalism just gets better. Okay, now, and the last part is there are certain states who need to interfere when it comes to policy making, especially if we talk about the sharing borders. Like if we talk about the water sharing borders, okay. Now what happened? There are various states, and we share water bodies, we share rivers. So in this particular scenario, the states should also have a decision making. They should also be able to make policies properly so that such interstate disputes are avoided. So if we talk about Andhra Pradesh CM, Mr. Naidu, he recently said that while reviewing the water resources development, he said that a policy is welcomed. We need a policy because right now a territorial re-imaging of its water futures, it's having multiple challenges because it has to share its water bodies. So it is having multiple challenges. And the bifurcation, it was done 10 years before, but right now this bifurcation of the water bodies is going very difficult for Andhra Pradesh practically. So water body, if we talk about at state level, this is one of the editorials of Hindu today, okay. So if we talk about it at state level, the state's interference should be there. That is not given much importance, but it has to be there. It is very much important for sub-nation and national water security, because if we as a state take away our responsibility, other states also take it away. Who will protect that particular water body? Okay, so we need this, and we need this at least for three main reasons. First of all, the water governance is a state matter. It is not a union matter, like between the states. The second is, if we talk about the water resources, it is a local matter. It is a territorial matter. Center cannot make decisions on the territorial or local matters. And the third main thing is, a lot of climate changes are done because of the way your water movements are, and the directions and everything. So we need to take care of these climate changes as well. Okay, next if we talk about Naidu's water policy, they say that we need to talk about how the water is supplied. Then there is a Polavaram project. He said, of course, it is a priority, but we need to talk about the long-term consequences if we are making interlinking projects. Now, they are very expensive. They are not even feasible because of, you know, the political parties keep on changing in various states, so that coordination doesn't fit in. He says we need to have an independent institution. We need to have a good regulatory authority. This is what Mr. Naidu has been saying, that it's high time we need to improve how our water is being used, and the states need to have a policy and make decisions on that. Also, there are certain risks that are associated with climate change. So we need to talk about that. We need to protect the adjoining areas. We need to make safety. We need to improve the water quality. If we talk about dams, guys, there are 32 dams that have crossed the age of 50. This is the highest average, you know, per structure in the country. So it's been more than 50 years and 32 dams aise hai. So now we need to talk and we need to look into their rebuilding. We need to talk about their improvement. Now that is another matter. So safety is of course an important concern even when it comes to dams. Okay. So Andhra Pradesh, it's again and again exposed to the climate change. If we talk about the Vijayawada floods, this was extreme. This was mainly because, you know, the floods came downstream and there was inundation in large parts. Like there was a collection of sand, collection of muds in many of the parts. So we need to look after these climate risks. There are even again and again, there are cyclones that are coming up. We need to take care of that by having an intergovernmental regulatory authority or a body, or maybe just an agreement. But we need to talk about these risks, and the states must also, again and again, they have been putting up points like we need institutions. We need authorities who will take care of this only. Their main job will only be the water policies and intergovernmental coordination. So we need such people. Okay, so that's all about today. The last topic was just an editorial, which you all can have an opinion on. From exam point of view, not really relevant. Okay. So yes, guys, that's it. We'll stop for the day, and I will see you all tomorrow for the next Hindu analysis. Thank you.